after this presentation, I'll send out a little feedback form so you guys can give me some feedback on what I'm doing tonight. And yeah, so I'm 37. I live in Austin, Texas. So who would like to go next? Just unmute your mic and just say what you need to say.
I will go next. My name is Maria. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I also very much enjoy participating in the Living with NMD Facebook group, and I'm just here to see if there is any way I can help out Emily and maybe gain some insight myself.
Maria is one of my favorite dating profiles. I don't know if she'll be up for sharing it, but it's really quite awesome. All right, who wants to go next?
I will.
Okay.
I'm John. I am 25. I live in the arms of the country, Austin, New Jersey. And I have been living with NMD since last summer.
Cool. And what made you join this hangout?
Well, you call it song. I'm looking at the road and all around good.
All right. Thank you. Who else who wants to go next? Steve, you want to go?
Go to sleep.
Aw.
Sorry, I'm dragging on. My name is Steve Alley. I've been in the group for almost more than a year. I joined this hangout just to learn all sorts of things to help me in this field, and I am 29 years old.
Thank you, Steve.
There you go.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Rachel, you want to go next?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Okay. So
Your camera's. Oh wait, one more thing. Your camera's a little tilted, so I only see your nose and your mouth.
Now thinking.
Yeah, I see it.
What?
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. I'm Rachel, and 22. And I just came here to hear what you all have to say.
Good. Well, it's really nice meeting you. And you live in College Station, Texas.
Yeah, okay.
And do you go to Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Ah, an Aggie. See, I'm a Longhorn. So.
Aww.
I'm just kidding.
It can be fun.
All right, and then next up, Eric, you wanna go next, Eric?
Yeah, I'm Eric from Northern California. I'm 32.
Cool. And what brought you to the hangout?
I'm not very good at writing dating profiles.
Okay. All right. Well, that's something I might be able to help with. Maria might be able to too. And cool. And then Anne, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Anne. This is my first hangout. I'm 24. I'm a law student.
Cool. Where do you live?
Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Cool. Nice to meet you.
Yep. Nice
Congratulations on being a law student. That's hard work.
Thank you. Last year.
We have a lot of lawyers in our group. So we should really start our own.
Good to see.
We should really start our own law firm. I really think it would be freaking awesome to do like a law firm full of all of us with like disability law. And I mean, we could get, it's amazing what we could do if we put our heads together. Anyway, but thank you. And glad you're here. What brought you to do that? What made you want to do this hangout? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Wait, did you say why?
Yeah. Why are you here?
Okay. Well, I did a little bit of like online dating this summer, but I don't know. I don't know if I had the best profile and be good to hear others' perspectives.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm great. I'm really glad that you're all here, and I'm gonna get started. I'll go through the presentation, and hopefully I'll offer a little bit of help. Let me kind of give you a little bit of background. I'm 37, and when I was in my early 20s, I moved to Austin, Texas, pretty much on my own. And I was kind of lonely, and I've had very ups and downs with dating. I did some online dating early on. It was like kind of before all the big sites. It was when you could kind of put an ad on a local like newspaper kind of thing, or do like an online ad. It's kind of like pre-dating site stuff. And I didn't disclose my disability at the time. And I found that was really detrimental. It did not work out well. It was heartbreaking. I'd meet these guys who were so into me. They'd write all these great things. They'd say all these great things. And it wasn't like I totally deceived them. I would tell them eventually, after a few exchanges, that I used a wheelchair. And they would say they were okay with it, but then I would actually meet them, and it was like nothing ever worked out. And I can never tell if it was because of me or if it was because of the disability that they couldn't handle it. And it was really confusing for me, and I had a really hard time with it. And so I didn't have a lot of luck in the dating world when I was not disclosing. And then I was in a serious relationship for about 3 years with a guy that I went to college with. And then when we broke up, he started online dating, and to get him back, I figured, what the hell, I'll do a profile. But I was kind of bitter and angry, and so what I did is I wrote this profile, and I was the most honest I could be. I just laid it all on the table. I was very, very, very straightforward in my profile. I held nothing back, because I figured if someone was going to like me, they better know exactly who I am and how I'm thinking, and they need to know just everything. So I was very, very straightforward in the profile. I put pictures up of me in a wheelchair. I put nice pictures. I put nice pictures like headshots, and then I did some pictures full body shots, and I was just really straightforward about it. When I also at the time had a full-time job, and I was driving, and I had a house, and so I had a lot going on in my life that was, I think that showed people that I was independent and that I was, managing my life. And so I think that didn't scare guys off as much. When I dated, in the early years, I wasn't as in good as position financially or, kind of situationally. I was a student at UT. I was in a kind of a low-income apartment. I was still living on my own, but it was kind of it was an apartment complex for the elderly and disabled. And so it was kind of like, I think a lot of guys were kind of a little weirded out by it. So the second time around, when I was very straightforward and I had a pretty decent setup, I started putting out all these, to put out the ad, and I went on at least 50 dates. I went out with 50 different guys that year, and I kept stats. I kept stats of all the guys I slept with, all the guys I kissed, all the guys I had a second date with, all the guys that nothing happened with, and it was really interesting. I developed some really decent friendships from that year. I was 29, and I ended up in a couple of like pretty long-standing relationships. I had a lot of sex, and I got a lot of free dinner. like tons of dinners all the time. It was a full-time job. I was out all the time. I was out 2 to 3 times a week, maybe more. One week I went out with 4 Dans. It was so weird. It was like the weirdest week ever. And so I had this, it was kind of this whirlwind, and I didn't understand what it was, but I really believed that it was incredible honesty in my profile that got me there. And I'll show you my profile if you're interested in seeing it. And then after that, I got into a serious relationship with a guy that I wasn't online with. We met at a party, and it was kind of funny because after all that online dating, the one guy that I ended up in a real big relationship with was the guy that I didn't even meet online. And we were together for 5.5 years, and we broke up. And when we broke up, I decided to go back out and do it again. And part of it was just rebounding. And so in 2013, end of 2012, 2013, I got back on OkCupid. I changed up the profile slightly. I went back on, and I went out on about, I think, 15 to 20 dates in about 2 months. And the world had changed a little. The guys were definitely less interested in our relationship, but I don't know if I was. And it was a lot more. It was a lot more hooking up than really anything meaningful. It was fine. It did the job. And then I ended up meeting my current boyfriend, or not meeting him, but getting together with my current boyfriend, who was my roommate. And so I didn't meet him online. I was actually just his roommate. And we've been in a pretty big relationship for about 2 years now. So, but anyway, I feel like I had some good things I could talk about. And that's why I started doing this Hangout, because I think it's important. And I think that it's possible. So anyway, does anybody have any questions for me after that long story? Sorry to ramble on. Does anybody have any questions about my dating stints before I go into my presentation?
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay. I'm trying to think how to say this. Like, how... Okay, so you said you weren't expecting to meet the guy that you did, like your current boyfriend. He wasn't online, right?
No.
Yeah. So, like, what one do you prefer? Like, in person or online?
Oddly enough, so it was weird because the one guy, I'd gone out with one guy a lot in the year that I was dating like crazy. He was a guy that didn't want to commit. And so I was actually dating him. I'd get together with him about once a week, and we'd go out. He'd take me out to dinner, or we'd fool around. He'd stay overnight. But we weren't serious. And so I had a birthday party, my 30th birthday party. I had a bunch of people over, including the guy that I was seeing, and then I also invited this other guy that I had met, not online, but I had met him. Well, actually, no, I met him through people that I met online. And anyway, and he invited his friend, and his friend came to the party, and we stayed up all night talking. He was sitting on the couch, and I was sitting next to him, and we spent about 4 hours talking like that night, and we totally hit it off. And within like 3 days, he was moving into my house. It was really amazing. We were together for like I said, for 5.5 years. So I'd gone on a lot of dates, and nothing was like, there were some really interesting sparks, but it wasn't the same as meeting that, and I think that it just was kind of a random thing. I think that my social skills were really on point. I think that I was able to flirt differently, and I had so much practice that I was like, I have no nervousness anymore when it comes to dating. I have no issues with meeting people anymore. It's like nothing to me. It doesn't even faze me. It's kind of sad because it's almost like I don't know. I'm not intimidated by it anymore. So, does anybody else have anything? I hope I answered your question. It's really hard. I like online dating because of it's mysterious, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Both of my big relationships have been guys that I never met online. So, anyone else? No? Okay. Well, I'm gonna I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my profile. Are you guys? Would you want to see the profile? Okay. I'm gonna share it with you, and I'm gonna share you the one that I wrote in 2006. Hold on 1 second. Can you see that? Can you see it? Yay, nay?
Yeah, yeah, we did.
Okay, so I said I was born in a little crap town in upstate New York, and as soon as I could, I got the hell out of there. And then I went to college in another crap town, Edinburgh, PA. After surviving 2 crap towns, I decided to move to Austin, Texas. This was the first non-crappy place I have ever been to, and I doubt I'll ever leave. How did I end up in Austin? It's a good story. If you ask, I'll tell you. I wrote that as a way to kind of engage the reader. So I wanted to basically to give them an in for making conversation with me. So I did that whole thing just to kind of, pull them in. And so they, like, a lot of guys wrote to me immediately and said, so how did you end up in Austin? And I really did have a fun story. So, so that was, that was the beginning of that. Sorry. Okay. Then I said, what do I do? And this is what I did at the time. I was an English journalism reading ESL teacher at an urban high school. I know really groovy street slang like the words throwed and crunk. Some people think crunk is spelled with a K, but I say it's with a C. And I may even be able to identify a gangsta for you. Right now, I work a lot, but my procrastinating allows me to have some room for fun. So, I talked about my job. I think, talking about things you do is important. If you can try to, if you sound like you're doing stuff, that's good. Things I'm good at. Being a nerd, telling a story, analyzing behavior, microwaving dinner, solving life's dilemmas, coming up with weird ideas to take over the world. That answer with the weird ideas to take over the world, that was not a popular answer. It's become a very popular answer on dating sites, I found. First thing people notice about me is my electric wheelchair. Yes, I happen to use one of these, but it's really not that freaky. Most people, once they notice it, forget about it because I work very hard to not make it a major issue. I have a form of muscular dystrophy, and basically that means that I can't walk. But really that's it. I'm not sickly, dying, or incapable of feeling a penis in my vagina. Most people really want me to clarify that last part, and I don't blame them. And no question is a bad question, so feel free to explore this territory. That was the winning line. When I was online dating, that was the line that everybody laughed at. Everybody responded. Everybody thanked me for that line. The penis in my vagina, although it was very crass, it basically called out the elephant in the room. They knew they could have sex with me, and that was, that answered a lot of their fears. And it, Some people don't like to put it that way. I was just feeling very bold when I wrote it, and it's worked for me. The line it's been gold. So then it kind of goes on, and I don't think I discussed my disability much more. Let's see, I said, I have a bit of a fascination with reading really pretentious Pulitzer Prize winning novels. I also like stuff by David Sedaris and Dave Eggers. As far as movies go, I really like independent films. Not a huge fan of action movies or science fiction. I like stuff with a plot, decent acting, sorry Keanu, and good writing. I like all kinds of music except for modern country. I like all kinds of food, but raw or chunky tomatoes and exotic vegetables like squash. And 6 things I couldn't live without: my dog, vehicle, sense of humor, job, friends, and crazy ideas that make me go, ha. So that was my profile. Anyway, any thoughts?
I liked it.
Well, thank you.
Very effective.
Very what?
Effective.
Very effective. Okay. Was
Well,
it?
it caught my attention.
Huh?
It caught my attention.
Thank you. Thank you. So I also big part of it is also your headshots. So I recommend that when you're putting up your Facebook profile picture, that the one that gets the most likes is the ones that you get the most likes are the ones that you should be using as your photos in the dating site. So you can experiment and just occasionally change your profile picture and see what the response is. And it will really guide what you do as far as like the pictures you use. I think that everybody should have a strong headshot, but you should also have pictures of your body and your wheelchair, and then also pictures of you doing things with people. Like really showing that you're out and about and like getting stuff out of, like doing stuff, because I think that's really important as well. You're just gonna, you want to go into it. You want to put yourself in the position of somebody that's reading your profile, and you want to think, what would, if they have any apprehension at all, what would they want to see to not have that apprehension? And so that can help as well. So anyway, I don't know where my pictures are that I put up because there was like a long time ago. But I'm very vain and I take a lot of pictures of myself. So I have a lot to choose from. But like I said, putting it on Facebook and letting people mark them and make comments, it's a really good way to kind of gauge what should go on your profile. It shouldn't be deceptive, but I think it should definitely flatter you. So that's kind of some, I hope that helped a little bit. I'll put up the presentation that I want to share with you guys.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. First, I just want to say something.
Okay.
Okay, I hear some people say that it might be easier if you.
Wait, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you very well. You said you heard from some people that what?
Like, okay, so people here, they're saying that, like, it's echoey. And it is echoey. So I think the reason your microphone is on right now. So just try to shut it off for 1 second.
Okay. You're hard to hear. Okay. You kind of wave in and out, so.
Okay. Can you read the messages, like,
the chat?
Hangout?
Can I read the chat, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I'm going to do that. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So my question is about the thing about you mentioned like that you can feel a penis in your vagina. That part? Okay. So some people like me, I wouldn't be comfortable writing that, I don't think. But I think the general population, maybe not the general population, but a lot of people think that we can't have sex, you know?
Right.
Right?
Yes.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. No, everyone thinks we can't have sex. It's
Okay.
very common.
Okay. So then, I just don't know how to go like around that because I don't want people just to message me because I can have sex. You know?
Well,
so like I don't know.
All right. So in defense of my penis and vagina thing,
Okay.
I used medical terms. I tried. I know it's. I don't think it was an invitation, and I guess now if I were to write it again, I might say that like, no, this is not an invitation. I just really want you to know this. Like like I mean, a lot of the people that responded to me were not like the people that were interested in sex were. It was very obvious that that was what was happening, and I was able to shut it down. And the people that weren't, that was really obvious too. And so I didn't have a lot of problems that came from that statement. It was really, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but it was really just the straightest, most no bullshit way to say it. I think, Maria, do you say something along those lines that's not like that?
Yeah. For my profile, I actually link to a video that is sort of a comedy routine that starts out about with someone asking a actress who is also a wheelchair user if she can have sex. And it's a really funny video. I've gotten multiple messages about it, and the catchphrase of the episode is, "Yes, my pussy works." And I've gotten so many messages saying that it's hilarious and that they, after watching that video, they watched the entire series on YouTube and that they think that I have like a really awesome sense of humor. And it's never been, I would say 9 times out of 10 it's not a negative thing. The only funny thing is I've gotten actually like slut shamed for it, and I've gotten a few messages every once in a while. They're like, you shouldn't have that in your profile. Like, it's not going to attract the type of attention that you want. And honestly, those are not the type of people that I would want to be dating anyway if they're that uncomfortable with their sexuality. So I take it as a sign that I'm doing something right.
Yeah, that was it. My pussy works. I remember that. That was pretty good. So I know the guys have been quiet about it. Do you guys have any? Do you ever have any fears that that's going to be an issue? That addressing sexuality, if you can have sex, like how you're going to be as a lover. Do you have anything that you have any issues with that you want to like talk about?
Well, personally, you're my point of view. Personally, it's an issue. It's a huge issue that I think actually stops for other women from even messaging me back. Honestly, because I think they view it as part of being like a man, and at least from what I've been told by other people. So it's an issue that I don't know how to address because I don't know how comfortable I am being as blunt as you see.
Okay.
So I do commend you for it. I'm just not that bold.
Well, I don't think you're alone. So one thing I've always said is that a lot of the guys at where I went to college always had women in their rooms. They were always like, I went to Edinburgh University, and it was a pretty popular place for people. You went too, and I don't know if it was the quads and the paraplegics always had girls in the room when I was in college. I don't know what it was, but the guys with MD were always like, "What is going on?" And there was like some kind of weird thing. It was like, I don't know if it was like that when you went to Edinburgh or not, but it's always seemed like that.
One quick story.
Uh-huh.
I had to live next to one of the basketball players.
Okay.
The wheelchair basketball player during spring break. All you could hear all weekend was his bed.
But you were near another person with a. See, most of the people with disabilities were on the same floor with people with disabilities, so.
I actually wasn't. They were over in Paris. I was in Barrow.
Okay.
But, no, actually, I wasn't in Barrow. I was in Dearborn.
Dearborn, okay.
Sorry, wrong day.
Okay. Well, and so, anyway, I came to the conclusion that the men were. There was a rumor going around, I think, that the men were really, really, really good at oral sex, and so, and so I don't know. That's kind of what I heard. That was a rumor, and so a lot of girls would hang out with them, and like they were very happy women, and so I always say that if there's any way that you can very, very subtly somehow say that you're good at that, I think that would be a good way to, if you are good at it, I hope you are, but if that would be a way to kind of get a female interested. I think it's a little different. I don't think it's different. I think that it's just about confidence a lot of the time. And I also think it's about like intelligence and a sense of humor. I think that can carry you really far. You really want to make sure. I noticed that a lot of guys are very kind of short and sweet with their profiles. And I think that your profiles need to be especially on point. They need to be grammatically correct. They need to be very well done and funny. If you can get a woman with your sense of humor and with like your honesty, I think that helps a lot too. There's a ton of women on Living with MD, and I know that a bunch of us, I'm sure, would be happy to edit profiles or give our opinion on like anything that you're writing. To try to, boost up what a profile sound, just boost your profile up or give you some tips. So I think that it's really, really important. Like I had a friend that ruled out any man that had a spelling error in his profile because women get so many hits all day long that like, they can get like incredibly picky. And so, so the more original you are and the more, interesting you are, the more that hopefully they're going to pay attention. So I don't know. Do any of the women want to comment on male profiles or anything like that?
Yeah. I would just like to add that I feel like first of all you have to almost know your odds. So on a lot of dating sites, especially like the more popular ones.
Hold
on.
Okay.
There are a lot more men than there are women. And so in addition to like how Emily was saying, how it's kind of almost traditionally the men that will message the women, there are more men doing it than there are women to receive those messages. So you have that against you. But what you can have going for you is, like she's also saying, it's the profile. Like, think of it as a creative writing exercise. Try to make it as funny as you can. Try to make it in-depth, but leave some mystery and leave some stuff to talk about if you actually do end up going on a date. Show, don't tell. So, like, with your pictures, get creative. Show you doing something. Show you out and about. Don't just have it be a photo of you, you know, in your bedroom with very poor lighting, not shaven, and looking disheveled. I mean, unless you're Brad Pitt, that's not going to do you any favors. So yeah, just have fun with it. Think of it as you are creating the you that you want the world to see.
I want to just quickly go through a little bit of my presentation. Are you, is that cool? Does anyone have any things that they want to bring up though before I do that? No? All right, I'm going to, oh, I'm sorry. What's up?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Okay. I have a question for Maria. So have you had like luck with online dating too? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I heard you. You said, Maria, have you had luck with online dating too? Do you want to talk a little bit about your online dating?
Sure. I've had a lot of luck. I have dated many guys. The only serious relationship I have been in has been from online dating, and that taught me a lot about myself and a lot about what I want out of a relationship. That said, like Emily, I no longer have any fear of meeting people, which is almost sad in a way because it makes me just not want to date. And I'm honestly, I now look at online dating as a supplement to what is actually out there. Like, I would almost prefer to meet someone organically now, and that's because I now have no fear of actually talking to people and chatting people up, you know? It's hard to explain, but I feel like after going on enough dates, you might not find the person that you want to be in a relationship with, but you find out the type of person that you want to be in a relationship with, and you find out what you want, and I think that's even more important than finding that person, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to go through this presentation really quick, and then it might bring up some points that haven't already been brought up, and then we'll talk about it. I might just kind of go quickly over some stuff that I've brought up because we've already talked about it. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Okay, so this is the presentation from Crip to Cripplicious. Can you see it all on the screen, everybody? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it's really important to kind of visualize kind of what you want and the date that you're going to go on before you even meet this person. So you really need to take some time. You don't have to do this today, but think about your ideal date. Where would you go with this person realistically? How long would the date last? What would you do? Picture how the date would end. Would you kiss this person? Would you have sex with this person? Like, really, like, put yourself in the most realistic situation that you can get, and really visualize what it is, because I think that sometimes people go into dating with kind of a weird, like, they're not being realistic with themselves. Like, I was talking to one person, and he was talking to me about wanting to go on a date really bad, but he didn't even have transportation. He was living at home, and he never left the house. And I was like, well, where are you going to take this person? And where are you going to go? And, like, how are you going to meet them? And so, like, all these logistics were not even thought about. It was just about finding someone online that he could talk to and then get to go out with him. But then once he got that person to go out with him, he had no idea what to do. And so you've got to plan for the date. You have to visualize it actually happening, if that makes any sense. Another thing, and I did this on Living with MD, but to seriously and not in a cheesy way, complete this exercise and do it over and over again. Because I think that a lot of things that stop you are it's self-efficacy. It's this belief that you're not capable deep down. And so to get over that by saying, well, I can't do these things, but I can do this. And that will really help you in writing your profile. You don't have to make it, cheesy. You don't have to be like, I can't dance, but I can sweep you off your feet. It's not like that. It's not supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to be an actual honest exercise of here's what I can't do, but here's what I can do, and really focus on that. And so, as cheesy as it sounds, I think it really works. So, and like example 2 says, I can't go rock climbing, but I love to go on urban hikes and people watch. And, that might be interesting to someone. There are a lot of people that love to people watch. And so, like, that would be a really fun activity if you're with the right person. And so it doesn't have to necessarily be cheesy. And also, before you do the online dating, it's really important to research different online dating sites and really figure out what site would be good for you. People that are Christian tend to like eHarmony. Some people refer to it as Holy Harmony. People or Christian Mingle or JDate, or there's like so many dating sites, and so it's really important. And also, some dating sites don't cover small like suburbs and small cities. So if you're not in a really big metropolis, OkCupid might be difficult. Whereas in bigger cities, it's a really good site because you have a lot to choose from. So let me see here. Another thing I can't stress enough is assessing your competition. So it's important and it's necessary because you've got to know what you're up against, and you've got to see what profiles are out there in your age range. You've got to see what's out there, and it really, really helps. You'll avoid using the same line that everybody else uses. And so it's really important to assess your line, your competition, to troll before you roll. And you're going to analyze winning profiles because, and I guess I don't really know how to, I guess basically you analyze winning profiles because you can tell who's getting a lot of hits. And I think that there's ways to do that on OkCupid where you can see where the people are most popular, kind of. But yeah, I would definitely do that. We talked a little bit about profile pictures, pictures that flatter, pictures that shatter stereotypes, and captions. So like when you write captions, captions can be way hilarious. And don't just say, like, and use dates. Like, I took this picture 2 weeks ago. That really helps because some people think that you put up pictures that are really old. And so you really want to, like, give dates and places, and you can add a lot of, like, pizzazz to your pictures with that. Let's see. Next one. Treat your dating resume like a professional resume. Write for your audience, like Maria mentioned that. Stand out from the rest and put yourself in their shoes while they're reading it. If they're reading your profile, imagine what they're seeing. And that's important as well. We talked a lot about it, addressing the elephant in the room, the ethics behind talking about your disability. When do you disclose? Where in the profile do you disclose? How do you disclose it without making it the issues? Calling out stereotypes and assumptions, and dealing with follow-up responses and questions. So, again, you want to address whatever they're thinking. If you can, if you can get it out there, get it out there. So, and let's see. Take a negative, turn it into a positive. You want to learn to flirt with your pen, the art of sexual innuendo, and stress your independence. So, you don't have to come right out and be all, sexual, but you may be able to imply things, if you like certain types of food that are kind of sensual, or, there's ways to kind of do it. Try not to use pity statements. Try not to sound like a Debbie Downer. Find the right editors, which really should be us in Living with MD. Pilot test your profile. Send it out maybe under another name and see how it goes. Like, play around with it. And we'll talk, this is so much to cover, but initiating conversations, avoiding burial, and how to spot creepers, devotees, and duds. I can talk a little bit about that right now, but I will. Here I am. Okay. Here. So does anybody have any questions about a little bit about what I wrote? No? And Steve, I don't have OkCupid. So, Steve, I don't have OkCupid, so I can't go into your profile. But maybe somebody can, like Maria. I don't know if you want to, Steve, put his...
No, you can just go there and see it. You don't
really?
have OkCupid.
I could try. Hold on one second.
Yeah, just try it.
Oh, okay. How's everything going with your profile?
Right.
Do you get any attention? Do people respond to you?
Well, I tried this site called Disability Dates. I got some people respond. I really got very far.
Okay. So I'm trying to pull it up a little bit. Okay. So if just looking at it, where you say it seems I move further and further east, you might want to say something about possibly ending up in the ocean one of these days. That's really interesting, Steve. I didn't know you had a group. Are you guys reading this? Ah, sorry. Is everybody able to read this?
I am.
Okay.
But I have a good keeper.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm reading this.
Okay. Steve, I like that you sound very busy.
Going to sleep.
Huh?
Yeah. And don't feel bad. The tan stuff lots of it apart.
So, I mean, from what I can see, Steve, it looks pretty good. It doesn't really, it doesn't stand out to me, but it's not poorly done. It does make it, you do sound pretty busy, which I like. It sounds like you have a lot going on and that you're a thoughtful person. And you don't sound like a dick. So I think that's good. Anybody else have any feedback on Steve's profile?
The only other thing I would add is that some parts of it are really well written and punctuated and capitalized and grammatically correct. And like you were saying, some women are so picky that if there's a grammar error in your profile, they won't consider that person. So the only thing I would change, or one of the main things I would change in that profile is just to make sure everything looks uniform and has the same amount of thought put into it. Like, his profile starts out really well written and thoughtful, and I feel like it loses steam towards the end. So I would just, work on filling in where the holes are, where the gaps are, and try and just always improve on what you have.
Thanks, Maria. Anybody else have any feedback? Galen, you shared your profile as well?
Yep.
All right, I could do. And let me pull it up and see. I mean, you gotta understand, I haven't looked at these yet, so just bear with me on these, okay? Let's see. Okay, so right away, Galen, I'm noticing that the first thing that you say is what a lot of guys say. I'm new to this online dating thing, but I thought I'd give it a try, so here it goes. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that line. So I would maybe come up with a different opener. Huh? You gotta drop the exclamation points. Did you guys read through that?
Yeah.
Any feedback?
I mean, just the same advice I would give Steve, and just make sure that a profile is uniform. Like, it has the same amount of punch in every session, or about the same, and the same amount of effort put into every session.
I think that some of the things that you said, Galen, were the kilt, to me, was probably one of the most interesting parts of the profile. And the freelance video stuff I thought was really interesting. I thought you needed to maybe expand a little bit more there. Your reading tastes are fine, but they're a little childish. Not saying that you can't read some childish stuff. Everyone does. But I would just be careful, because a lot of the, infantilization or whatever of people with disabilities, like the idea that we're immature or we're children, those stereotypes are out there. I would try to, try to put in some, higher brow stuff, maybe. I would not talk about how you're looking for a job. I would probably leave that out. I don't, maybe. I like that you finished school. I like that you wrote about what your friends would say about you. I thought that was cool. I do think, though, that you need to avoid any kind of cliche statements. And the future, I think about my future. Well, that's, it's kind of, everyone thinks about their future, but what, go specific there. So those are some suggestions. You also said you're writing a book, aren't you? So,
yeah.
So maybe go there, talk a little bit about that and what you're writing. So those are some suggestions that I have. So,
okay.
But anyway, is my mic still bad?
Yeah.
It's still bad? I don't
know. Everything I say, I hear like a second later.
Oh. I wonder if I turned it down. Is that any better?
Still hear it.
Ugh. I don't know why my computer's doing this tonight.
It's because your speakers are turning up on your mic.
Oh yeah, maybe that. Okay. Well.
You need headphones.
You need to use a head microphone or something.
Okay. Sorry about that, you guys.
Okay.
I wonder if that'll help. Do you still hear it? I changed the setting.
No, I don't hear it anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
It's better?
Yeah, it's good.
Yay! Okay. That makes me feel better. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I changed the settings from default mic to from built-in mic to default mic or something on my computer. And so maybe it chilled it out. All right. Well, thanks, Mike. Mike? I know you're here, but are you able to talk to us? I don't know. He's here, but I know you've been to a couple hangouts, Mike. If you want to chat in the no webcam. Well, it's nice meeting you, Mike. Where are you from? He's typing in the chat. I was gonna wait. Chicago. Cool. So, anyway, does anyone have any questions for me at all?
Not that I can think of.
Sorry, you're just too good at this.
Right. I'm trying to think. No questions at all. I'm down for whatever you want to ask. Oh, thank you so much, Mike. That's sweet of you. If you guys wouldn't mind, I'm going to post a link to a survey or a feedback form, basically, on the Hangout. So I know that some of you know about NMD United, but it's a nonprofit and it's composed of basically us, of people, adults with neuromuscular disabilities, and it's composed of us and it's for us. And so basically it's everybody, even the lawyer that set up the nonprofit, he's got SMA. Like everybody that's done anything for this organization has MD or NMD. So anyway, we just got our 503c3 status, and we're going to be applying for grants, and we're hopefully going to have a conference in the near future where we can actually all meet in person. And I'm waiting, and we're also looking at, a future of maybe doing life grants, which would be getting a grant to use towards living your life with a neuromuscular disability. We're not cure focused, and we're all about basically helping each other. I'm setting up kind of a peer-to-peer support counseling via virtual means. I'm going to start setting up that program. We also have, we're hopefully going to publish a book of essays for parents who have children that have been diagnosed with neuromuscular diseases from, our perspective. We have a lot of stuff going on. We're hopefully going to start scheduling meetups around the United States and around the world. And so we have a lot going on as an organization. And so I just wanted to bring that kind of stuff up and tell you about our feedback form, because we're going to use the feedback to help us not only give better hangouts, but to help apply for grants. We want to be able to use this in our grant writing. So, does anyone have any questions? I'm going to post the link to that, and then you're welcome. I can stay on for a couple more minutes if you want to talk to me, but you're welcome to do whatever you got to do. I'm going to bring the link to the Hangout form. There you go. So this should bring up the Hangout form. I put it in the chat box, and it looks like this. So, simple and sweet. So does anybody have anything they want to add or talk about? Do you have any questions about NMD United?
I'm glad you finally got your status.
Thank you. So am I. It went so fast. I couldn't believe it. We met our lawyer in January, and we were set up, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I thought it was going to take way longer. So.
So what plans do you have for the organization?
Like I said, we're...
Be adding to the site or something.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again?
Like, what are you gonna add more to the site, or like, I don't know, do you have any plans soon for the organization?
Well, one thing we're gonna start doing is a blog. We're gonna post daily in our blog with, like, you know, more information, things like that. That's gonna start next month. We also want to. We have a group together. Steve, I think, is part of a group, that the Connections Committee, that's talking about Hangouts, doing more Hangouts. We're gonna start having them more often on a lot more topics. So we're gonna have a lot more Hangouts and meetups in the near future. And then I'm going to start a peer-to-peer, kind of like an independent living center, kind of, for our population, where people can go online at any given hour of the day and chat with somebody with NMD that specializes in a certain thing. So, for instance, like, I'll get volunteers to be on chat, and, like, they'll be a specialist in a certain area, and then they'll provide information and guidance, and people can get online at any point in time and talk to them. So we'll have, like, a volunteer schedule and that kind of stuff. So those are some things that are, like, coming around the corner that are going to be more immediate. And then later on, we're going to be doing, hopefully, a conference and a book. And I come up with weird ideas all the time. And then I bring them up with the board. And then the board throws ideas back at me. And so we've got ideas all the time. But basically, I have visions, like crazy visions, like us starting our own employment agency. I have all kinds of goofy ideas. Like, I envision a future where we're running our show. Like, we're not only are we, you know, peer-to-peer working together, but we're, like I said, helping each other get employed, helping each other get attendance, maybe starting a home healthcare agency, maybe starting a law firm, maybe designing or, you know, doing architecture and design. We just have so many qualified, amazing people in our group, and we can band together and really, you know, do a lot of amazing things. So, anybody else have any questions?
Like, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, if we wanted to get involved with this organization, because, like, I'm in Texas too, and I want to move to Austin when I graduate. So, like, are there, like, volunteer opportunities or something?
Yes. Yeah. So we're new, and we have, if you go to our page, nmdunited.org, there are some volunteer applications on there, but really we're small right now. And so if you find something you want to do, just let me know, and you can run with it. And the nicest part about it is that you can set up a program and we'll help it. And then you can take all the credit and do whatever you want. Like, it's kind of, we're in this position now where we're kind of just, we're creating we're just letting our minds run free. And, like, people that need experience in certain areas, like, this is where to do it, man. Like, this is how we're going to get it done. I really believe it. I really think that we have an insane amount of power as a group. And so, and I really, the thing about charity and the thing about, you know, people that are raising money on our behalf is that they're doing it, they're not really understanding that we could do it ourselves. I mean, we could take it over. We could be our own. Like, it boggles my mind why Muscular Dystrophy Association isn't completely run by people who have muscular dystrophy. It's not like we can't do it. We're out there and we're looking for jobs. Why aren't they hiring us? Like,
they actually won't. I tried.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're qualified, highly qualified people with degrees and like talents, and we have exactly what they're raising money for. And so there's a lot of questions about that in my mind. It's like, well, you know, why do they just want to use us as, you know, a pity tool for them? Like, it's not really about, you know, what we're doing. I mean, we're like amazing people. So anyway, sorry, I could go on forever, but this organization is.
Well, let's do it ourselves.
That's what I'm saying. Let's do it ourselves. I mean, independent living centers are a mess in this country. You can't get anything done at an independent living center. The model started from a good place, but a lot of the centers for independent living are failing us because, first of all, they're hard to get to. You can't a lot of people can't transport themselves to centers, and so they don't have any virtual ways of handling anything. That's why I want to do like basically a virtual version of this. And I think, and I know a lot of people complain that it's not cross disability, but I just think that, you know, I think a lot of people assume that the Muscular Dystrophy Association is taking care of all of this, and it's not happening. So we need to do it ourselves. I really will get off my soapbox, but I used to dream of an island where we all were on this one island, and it was like this perfect place where we all, you know, we were all there and everything was great, and it was kind of like Edinburgh University but better, and it was like, it was warm out and nice, and I used to picture this place, this island, and I even created a website called SMA Island, thinking it would just be people with SMA, but then I've decided that no, it should be for everybody with NMD, and so but it's a little creepy because I am very Gimpo-centric, but I think our population rocks, and I really think we need to do more for each other. Okay, any other points?
No, but I really like the island idea.
The island idea. We should buy our own island.
I've actually looked into it. They're not that expensive.
Let's choose a state to take over.
We should pool together. Australia. We should pool together all of our Social Security and buy an island. No, I'm just kidding.
It would have to be really small.
No, I don't know. But no, I don't know. I don't know and I really want our conference to be in Las Vegas. I think that would just be hilarious and really fun if we all got, totally. It would be, yeah. So I want us to be seen as adults. I really do. So Vegas baby, Mike says yes. Anyway, anybody else have anything? Everybody's turning into pictures. Steve, you've been really quiet. Did you fall asleep?
No, I'm here.
Okay. So, anyway, yeah, I'm going to be on the board for, I think I'm on the board as the president for like 3 years or something like that. And then I have to like give up my presidency to somebody else. And we're looking for more board members. So eventually one of these days we're going to have an application for new board members, and we're going to get some more people. We want to expand our board. So that's another opportunity for you to get involved. So I'm very excited. Huh?
I said thank you, Mrs. President.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Well, anyone? I'm gonna ask one more time. Does anyone have anything else they want to share, or talk about, or ask? Because it's about 9:22, and I think it's almost time for me to go.
Goodbye.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope to see you guys soon. Our next hangout, our hangouts are listed on the website on the calendar, and they'll be popping up. And if any of you guys have any ideas for more hangouts, please let me know, or let us know, and we'll get them going. And if you want to run a hangout, let us know, and I'll happily let you do that. All right.